Are you tired of clicking each ingredient back into your brewing stand and waiting for your potions to finish, and sitting there and wasting time when you could be harvesting your wheat, harvesting your carrots, doing various other things, but instead you're sitting there watching your potions? Well, I have a solution for you. Hey guys, I'm back with another invention. This is called the percolator. This is a fully automated brewing station. Fully automated. Now there's two ways you can build it. The first way is it's just a single use type thing where you click a button, and your 3 potions end up in the chest. I'm actually going to walk inside here. Your 3 potions end up inside the chest. The other version, which I suggest, it brews potions until there's no more resources for it to use. That's what I have right here, and I'll show you both ways. I think you have to add in 4 or 5 pieces of redstone to switch between versions. So it's not that tough to switch. But this is very confusing. I'm going to split this up into 2 videos. One is the showcase and explanation of it, and the second is actually building it. So let's get started. So I've built a little house here, and we're going to brew 2 types of potions today: swiftness potion and night vision potion. So I have here, night vision potion requires a golden carrot, and if you don't know how to craft that, it's like this. You have a carrot surrounded by 8 golden nuggets. So that's that. And then a friend of mine actually gave me a book with the potions recipes in it. So we have Butter, Oil, and Magic by Paula Dean. The recipe for the potion of swiftness has been around a long time, y'all. So long that youngins just like yourself have made variations of it. I reckon mine's the best, though. All you need is some nether wart, which you can either get from Whole Foods or the Nether. Now, for most of y'all, Whole Foods jacks their prices up real high, so I just go to the Nether. Next thing you need is some sugar. Last thing is either some redstone to make that taste last longer, or glowstone to give it a short kick, and add your butter and oil as you want it. So, that's swiftness potion. It requires nether wart and sugar, and we're going to add in glowstone for a modifier and redstone for a modifier for the other. So, I'm going to show you guys how to work this. We're going to put this potion recipe back in there, and we're going to get ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 water bottles, and we're going to place them into our item hopper, like so. So all of our water bottles are in there. Now we're going to need primary ingredients. Now our primary ingredients for a swiftness potion is obviously nether wart, and we're going to need 3 of them. We're brewing 3 sets of potions, not 9. Excuse me. We're using 9 water bottles because one set of a potion uses 3 water bottles, so that's why we're using 9. So we're going to need 9 primary ingredients, or 3 primary ingredients, excuse me, and those will get sucked right up. Secondary ingredient is going to be our sugar, so you're going to use 3 of those, and you can toss these in too. You don't have to necessarily throw them in, and you're going to see that they go away. Now our modifier, for 2 of it we'll use glowstone, and for 1 of it, or 2 of it we're going to use redstone, for 1 of it we'll use glowstone. So put this in, just like that. So now all that's left to do is to press this button and wait. And actually what I'm going to do is I guess I'll do some talking while it's brewing, because with each brew it takes a while. So we're going to click Start Brew. So you heard some dispensers clicks, which may give away what's actually going on. And we're actually going to keep our, actually no, we're going to wait. This is a signal light here. This tells us when there's potions ready. So that's how we'll know. So, I started building this and had the version 1 of it, which I was pretty happy with. What it was version 1 was a lot less efficient than this. What you actually had to do was you had to click the Start Brew button, and you had to manually wait about 20 or 30 seconds. And that 20 or 30 seconds was actually, it was the time it took to brew. There was nothing that told you how long it was taking, and you kind of had to eyeball it. And then you'd press a second button. So, like, I think I had the second button, like, right here. And what that would do, that would actually call the potions in, if that makes sense. So this has become a lot more efficient. This is completely automatic. Consists of one button. We should be getting some potions in here. Yeah. We have our first 3 swiftness potions. So this has 8 minutes. So this actually had one of the glowstones applied to it. And we'll take one. We'll take these out. And we will put them in our swiftness potion chest. And so that's our first set of brews. There's 2 more to come, and one of them will have a glowstone effect on them. So, then my second version of this cut out the fact that there was a second button, and it made it automatic. And from there, I was extremely happy. But I still wanted, because I've seen other automatic brewing stations that allow you to just brew potions and potions and potions until you're out of materials. And I wanted something like that as well. So I didn't stop there. I kept on going because I wanted mine to be just as good as other ones. I don't want to stop short, if that makes sense. So I worked and worked and finally figured out a way to do it. And I'll show you. We got more potions. So these got the glowstone, redstone too. That will go in there. And oops. We'll conserve all those. Conserve all those. So anyway, the next version, I kind of fiddled until I finally found a way to do it. And that's what this is. This is the final version. What am I going to say? I completely forgot. Anyway, what I was going to say is, this version I'm trying to make more and more compact, because right now it's fairly big, because it's just kind of a test. And I just need to kind of conserve the space. So that's what I'll probably do as time goes on. Because it does take up a good block, but it's very easy to hide behind a wall, and we should be getting our last potions in here. Yep. These have the speed too. These were the glowstone applied to them. So, put our last potions in here, and we're going to begin our brewing of the night vision potions. To show you that it doesn't just work for that. So, again, we're going to need 3. We're going to need 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, did I miss one? I did. And this time we're going to use 2 glowstone and 1 redstone. So we're going to put our bottles in, as usual. 1, 2, 3 for 1 set. 4, 5, 6 for a second set. 7, 8, 9 for a third set. Primary ingredient is the same thing as our nether wart, and that's going to be sucked up. Secondary ingredient is our golden carrot, and our modifier is going to be our 2 glowstone and 1 redstone, and we're going to start brewing. So, when I do the tutorial for how to build this, it's going to be split up into multiple parts, because there's multiple parts to this, and I don't want to just kind of lay it all on you guys at once. So I'll probably split it up into different steps. And I'm going to try to make it as easy to follow, because it's very hard to be like a commentator like this who does tutorials. It's very hard because you understand exactly what's going on in your invention, but the people watching may not. So it's hard to speak as if you don't understand it. So you have to explain each little term, and sometimes I forget to do that, and I've noticed that. So I'm going to work on that. I'm just going to do some stuff while I'm talking here. So, I'm going to try to conserve the space back here before I do the tutorial video, but I don't think I'll be able to do that. Oh, if you guys wanted to read this one. Next thing we're going to make is some night vision potions, y'all. First, you need some nether wart just like before, then add in your golden carrot. And same as before, y'all, add in redstone for savory flavor or glowstone for a quick kick. So that was just one page there. And if you're wondering how I'm doing this, I'm just double-clicking on these items, and it kind of conserves them. And I should be getting some potions in here, yeah. Water bottles, you can't conserve because they don't stack. These I can conserve, and these I can conserve, just like that. And night vision potions. These are, this is the redstone one. So yeah. This light here is optional, completely optional. And also, I'm in survival mode right now, so you can tell that, it's not just creative mode that this works in. I don't know how it would do that, but anyway. I'm in survival mode, just regardless. So, don't really know what else to say. If we watch in here, you'll see potions come in soon, I think. I use something I saw on Cube Hamster's video on just for a short bit in this thing. It's just to move items upward using droppers. But other than that, this is a completely original design, and there's ways around. So yeah, you're seeing these potions come in. So this is a so it doesn't look like you can brew it with glowstone. Yeah, because there's no night vision too. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, but anyway. So the part that I used from Cube Hamster was just a systematic way of moving items upward using droppers. There's ways around it, but that conserves the most space, so that's why I use that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wait till this last one to finish brewing, and if I mean, this is an extremely nice system. Like, I'm not just gonna stand around while I'm doing this. I'll go outside and ride horses or something. Regardless. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do while we're waiting, is just ride horses. And hurry back in. Oops, so yeah, actually we're gonna need that to get back out. So yeah. So if we walk back in here, it doesn't look like they're done yet, but it should be soon. But when they finish. I'll actually cut to when they finish, so I don't have to just sit here and talk. Alright guys, welcome back. I think we have about 20 seconds left in this brew. I only cut for about 5 seconds, then I heard the noise that it was finishing up. So yeah, if you're wondering what that noise is, it's a horse out there doing something doing something stupid. So anyway, this video is going to be wrapping up soon, which means that I don't know what that means. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to build it in the next video. We should be getting it in here right now. Let's see here. Yep, there it is. So yeah, we got it. And the glowstone doesn't seem to have an effect on it. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and if you are curious to see how this is built, which I hope you are, stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to show you how to build it. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Okay guys, I forgot that I was going to do the explanation in this video as well, so that's why I'm back. So, I'm going to do the explanation right now. So, when you click that button, which is just right over here. Actually, I'm going to kind of keep this building up. The button is right here. So when you click this Start Brew button, what happens is you just get a simple redstone line that goes... Well, actually, first I should say... Oh my god, this horse is in here. First thing I should say is that those hoppers that I put... Oh my god. What an awful noise that was. Anyway, that's new. When you put the items in these hoppers, they go back into these droppers, which completely rhymes. That's the droppers right there. So when you press the button, what's happening is you're getting a redstone signal that goes to these 3 hoppers, 1, 2, and 3. And where you put the water bottles, that goes down right into the brewing stand. Well, I'll get to that in a second. So, there's a delay between these. The first one has the shortest delay, the second one has the second longest delay, and the third one has the longest delay. That's because order matters. So we're putting the primary ingredient in here, secondary there, and modifier there. Now, the reason why they're in a certain order is because the primary has to get there before the secondary and the modifier does, and the secondary ingredient has to get to the hopper or to the brewing stand before the modifier does, if that makes sense. And what I thought originally was that since I'm putting them on a stream, they're being shot into a water stream when I press that button. That's what that is. What I thought was that if I were to shoot it into a water stream, that this one would obviously get there before. But I was actually having some weird issues where this one was actually getting there before, and it was strange. So, just for positive reinforcement, I've put delays there. So that's what that does. So then, your water bottles go straight down from hopper to this hopper to this hopper, and then over to the brewing stand. And this is where the brewing happens. Do not pay any attention to this redstone line right here, right now. So all the ingredients from the hoppers get washed down into this hopper right here, which takes the first ingredient, which is usually nether wart if you're brewing anything with an awkward potion. Well, it takes your primary ingredient and takes it from in there and puts it down in there into the brewing stand and begins to brew. So if I take water bottles, you'll see that I take a water bottle and a water bottle and a water bottle, and I put them in this hopper right here. You're going to see them, they're going to get shot right into the brewing stand. So if you watch, you see them go into the brewing stand just like that. And that's what happens. And then if I were to take my primary ingredient, which is usually nether wart, or any primary ingredient, and put it into this hopper, it's going to go down into here, and it's going to begin brewing. I don't want it to brew, though. So, from that point on, well, anyway, I mean, after a long time, after it goes through all this stuff up there, it gets sucked down into this hopper below it, and over into this. And this is what I use from Cube Hamster. This is just a simple way to move items up with a hopper. So if I take an item and put it right there, there, and there, up in the top chest, I'm going to have 3 water bottles. And if you look, you'll see that I have 3 water bottles in there. 3 water bottles. So that's what I use from Cube Hamster. There's other ways I could have done it, but I decided to use that. I could have used pistons to push the items up, or something like that. But I just used that because it took up the least amount of space. So the stuff in between. What happens here is this is a comparator, and this is actually comparing the signal in here. So a brew of any item, so if I put 3 water bottles in here and put this nether wart in here, it'll take 20 seconds for the nether wart to turn this into awkward potions. So each brewing step takes 20 seconds. So what happens here is you figure if you're brewing a speed potion, you'll probably have these 3 ingredients. Nether wart, which will go in and immediately get sucked down into there. Then you'll have your sugar and your I'm actually going to take these items out of here right now so that this thing doesn't happen. What happens is this thing lights up because there's items in here. So once this gets turned into awkward potion, the nether wart will go away. Then the sugar gets sucked down into there. Once the sugar gets brewed in with the awkward potion to make your base swiftness potion, what's going to happen is the redstone is going to be sucked down into there. And that's going to turn that comparator off. And when that comparator turns off, it means there's one step of brewing left because there's nothing left in here. So that means, in other words, there's 20 seconds left of brewing time before they're done. So if you watch and I take the sugar out, the comparator will turn off, which I'll show you what happens in a second. So if I take the sugar out, that turns off, and you heard that dispenser click. So what this actually does, the comparator leads to this repeater, which turns this torch off, which turns all of this stuff off, and well, actually, never mind, it's not true. Excuse me there. If I have an item in here, and have an item in here, this thing turns on, which turns off this signal. So when the brewing step completes, what the heck, oh, never mind. When the brewing step completes, that turns off, which turns the signal on, which powers this dropper. And this is the timer I was talking about. So I had all these items in here, because what you do is you'd fill this thing up with cobblestone or something that's readily available. And when that gets powered, it shoots out a thing, and it takes an item 24 seconds to fall through cobblestone. So if you look here, you throw it down there, it's slowly going down through there. I'm going to take that back. So that 24 seconds is longer than this 20 seconds to brew, which means that you have, like, it's positive reinforcement type thing. So by the time that timer's done, you're well aware of the fact that these potions are done. So when the item is finished going through the cobweb, it drops down into these hoppers. And when it goes through this hopper, it'll send a pulse, and it goes through this T flip-flop. And I'll tell you the significance of the T flip-flop in a second. So anyway, after the T flip-flop is completed, you have this line of redstone right here, which leads down into, down here. It's kind of confusing. It comes from over there and leads from 1 to this hopper right here, the hopper below it, and to 2, don't worry about this right now. So the second hopper, or it leads to this hopper right there. And the reason why is because if that hopper right there wasn't powered by default, when I put in potions or bottles, the bottles would immediately get sucked up, so I wouldn't have a chance for them to even start brewing. So that's why it has to be powered. Now, when that 24 seconds is up of the item going through the cobweb, it will drop onto, it'll unpower this, because this will become powered. This is a RS NOR latch. I'll show you all of this in a little bit. And it will unpower that hopper for this amount of ticks. I'll show you that in a second too. I'm sorry, this is just such a confusing thing to explain. So it does it for about a second and a half, which is enough time for the three potions that have been brewed to come into this hopper and get sent up there. So the reason why I have a T flip-flop here is because what happens when you first shoot out your items. So you'll get nether wart that'll get shot out of there and go into here. And remember, this signal turns off when there's no items in there. And when it turns on, this will turn off, and when the comparator turns off, this will turn on. So in other words, when an item gets passed through the hopper, goes in and then goes out, the dispenser will click. So if you have nether wart that goes through there, in and then out, before these other items have a chance to get in there, which happens every time. So if I drop, you figure if I drop nether wart right here, and then redstone right here, that nether wart's going to go through there before that redstone even has a chance to get in there. So that's the reason behind that. I hope that makes sense. So what happens there, that sends out one tick, or it sends out a pulse here, and that pulse leads to this timer, which will go through there. And when it goes through this, it leads to step 1 of this T flip-flop. And step 1 of this T flip-flop, I'm going to break that for a second. Step 1 of this T flip-flop will keep this thing on. So what we want to do is we want to keep this powered until those are done brewing, because this is what makes those potions able to leave that hopper. So this T flip-flop, what this does, this extends the length of a button. So if I were to take and make an RS NOR latch like this, and put a redstone torch there and a redstone torch there, oops. What we have here is a way to extend a button length. So if we have a button right here, if I get out a button, put it right there, what a T flip-flop does is just it reverts the signal over to there. And then the only way to undo that is just either break it or reset it. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to take a bunch of redstone repeaters and also branch them off of this button and bring them around. We'll put some more down. That should be enough right there. So then, oops. Then we're going to bring this around and lead it right into there. So if I press this button, instead of going out when it normally does, it'll go out when all of these go out, if that makes sense. So I'll turn that on, and then it switches back. So this is a way to keep a door open longer enough if you wanted to. So if you have this like here, and you were to do this, it'll open, and it'll stay open for longer than a normal button length. So if I put a button here, like this, you'll see, shucks, not what I meant to do right there. So this is how long it stays open with the button. Closes. This is how long it stays open with this. It's obviously longer. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm giving that hopper this amount of time to shoot all those potions out. I feel like I'm doing a really bad job right now, but anyway, I'm going to keep going. So step 1 of this T flip-flop is just to turn this on. Step 1 keeps that redstone signal on. So if you watch, nothing happens there. Nothing switches. So that's what happens when that first thing goes through, when the nether wart goes through. So then, when you're actually done with ingredients and that second pulse will go through, what happens is this. If you watch, this redstone line will go off and then turn back on. So that's what happens when your second amount of ingredients go through. So that actually lets them pass through. So that's what that RS NOR latch and T flip-flop is for. Now this line of stuff that I have right here, and the line of apologize for that. That was just a quick interruption there. So this line of redstone that I have right here, and the line of redstone that I have, down here, is what differs it from version 2 and version 3 of this. So these allow it to continuously brew. So what this is for, this line of redstone right here, is this is what allows the potions to go through. So if you have excess bottles here, so let's say you had 3 bottles in your brewing stand and 6 bottles in here, what would happen is that this first potion would get sent out, and then the next potion would start filling it in before these 2 potions would even get sent out. So what this does is when the signal down here turns off, it powers this hopper. which when a hopper is powered, it doesn't allow it to send items. So this hopper is powered for the exact same amount of time as this hopper is unpowered. So this gives it time to shoot its freshly brewed potions out, and then when this part gets unpowered, it allows these new unbrewed water bottles to get put into here. That's what that does. And all this does is when this thing changes, when your second and final pulse happens, when you're done with all your ingredients, and this timer, it goes through this timer, this will flash, and so will this. And what this does, this is just a line of repeaters that leads to where that button powers. So this just powers all these dispensers again and starts the entire process over. So if we put items in these, we need to put these back in here. So if we actually brew a potion, I'll show you what this looks like. So if we're gonna brew a swiftness potion, I guess we'll brew 2 sets so I can actually show you everything that happens. We'll use glowstone, and we're gonna need 6 water bottles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And what do I have in here? Okay, water bottles. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our 6 water bottles in, our 2 primary ingredients, our 2 secondary ingredients, and our 2 tertiary or modifier ingredients in. And when we press brew, you're going to see that these get powered, and I'll quickly go outside and show you what it looks like with this thing's going through. So those get shot out, and our first tick just happened, so if you can see the piece of cobblestone down in there going through. So, and I'm getting strange lag right now, which is not good. And this is powered because there's items in this hopper. So if I look down here, you're going to see this stuff getting brewed. And then our sugar will pop in. And when the sugar's done, and actually that piston noise was that block of cobble finishing its cycle through that timer. But anyway, when the sugar finishes, the redstone will come through, and that redstone's the last ingredient. So you're going to see this comparator right here flash. So that turned off, and that ticking noise was actually that dropper up there dropping a piece of cobble through that timer again. So now if you watch, you're going to see these redstone lines over to my left light up, and that is, so there it went again. As you saw, there's, the stuff finished there, and this turned on, preventing these new potions from coming in. Then it turned off, allowing these new potions to get pumped through. So we're going to watch the cycle again, and you'll see what's actually going on. So then our thing gets pumped, then the sugar comes in, and then the redstone will come in. And that noise was the first block, the first pulse finishing its cycle. And that second piston noise you hear when the redstone's actually finished, when the potions are fully brewed, that next piston noise will happen. That ticking noise right there was the second pulse, or the second pulse that's going to happen. So now a block's going through the 24-second timer, and then in a little bit we're going to hear it finish, which is the piston noise that you're going to hear. So listen. Right there, that piston noise was it finishing. So then it goes up through this thing, and we'll bring all of our items back into there. So we have our 6 potions right there. So that is the percolator. This video probably ran on a lot longer, but next video I'm going to show you guys how to build it. So yes, thank you guys for watching, and tune in for the tutorial. It's the next video, so I'll see you guys later.